Welcome. This is the Modern Geek Podcast. Coming at you live. Please subscribe through YouTube or Twitch. Hope you enjoy the show. Hey everybody, this is the Modern Geek, also known as Vamp Mario. We're doing another unboxing video. For this series, we've been doing the unboxing of the Kotobukia Avengers Art FX figures. So far, we've done unboxings for the Hulk and Thor. We're going to continue on that. For you guys that may not know, Kotobukia is a company that does high quality statues. They do it for the worlds of anime, DC, Marvel, Star Wars. You may have seen them there's a lot of retailers that carry them. So what's kind of cool about Kotobukia is they're in like places like Barnes & Noble and also your comic book store. I like them a lot because they're a cheaper alternative. So if you're somebody who always wanted to maybe collect large format figures or get into collecting statues, they're a nice kind of cheap alternative to some of the more expensive ones out there. And I think they, again, the ones that are really expensive, the $300-$400 ones, definitely higher detail, higher things. But I think for the price point, they're exceptionally well done for that price point. So today we're going to do Mr. Captain America. So by far the smaller of the boxes I've done. The big significant thing with them lately is that they just got basically the rights to the Marvel side of things. So the first series of Marvel figures for the artifacts that they were doing is the Avengers. They're also going to be doing later this year some X-Men stuff. If you actually go to our Facebook page, I have some shots of some of the Kotobukia's catalog from Comic-Con, because we got to see some of their figures there. Also was able to snag some of their exclusive guys. That's pretty cool. So doing the whole Avengers team. So far they've released all of them except Iron Man. Iron Man will be out in February, and there's two variants for Iron Man. They're going to be doing the black and gold, which is the interstellar Iron Man, and then the regular gold, yellow and red. I'm going to be getting the yellow and red one just because I want to keep it consistent, so I have a full Avengers team. And then that'll end out the series, and we'll see what they do next. At Comic-Con, I think X-Men is going to be the next territory, which is pretty cool. And they're going to continue with the DC line to do some of those. Cool. So this is Cap. These guys, primarily, most of them are going to be around 55. I was going to say the Hulk was a little bit more, because he is a much larger figure in comparison to the others. If you look at the Thor unboxing, I did a little comparison with them. Yeah, so, and I have to say they got the scale pretty much down. You look at the Thor and the Hulk, and the scaling's right. The Hulk's a little bit bigger and larger than those guys, so they did a good job. All right, so without further ado, we'll get to the unboxing. Of course, in the comments, if you have questions, please let us know. I'm on there every day, and my cohorts will be answering as well. And we'll be able to answer any questions you might have or info you may need. And I'd love to hear you guys share. If you have been a Kotobukia collector for years, what are you collecting? What kind of stuff are you getting? Would be really cool. All right, so this is a good shot of the front of the box. So this is based off the Marvel Now. And what's significant about the Marvel Now is that, so similar to DC, many of you comic fans out there should know, DC kind of rebooted their whole universe. They called it the New 52, where they, altered some of what us older comic book fans out there are aware of the universe being, in favor of some other stories. And they kept some things the same too. I mean, they didn't like do crazy differences, but they changed some significant stuff. So, if you're an old-timer comic book fan, you may be a little peeved with some of the things they changed. Marvel kind of tried to do a similar thing, but they didn't they rewrote this. They kind of changed the stories a little bit. But what they more did was they kind of altered the characters a little bit. So they maybe updated little things, but they didn't like kind of go too crazy into changing the mythos of the character, but more about the storyline. So they kind of pushed them into different stories. And that's why we're seeing stuff like the Lady Thor and all the other kinds of things. So this is based off the Marvel Now universe. This would be the newer looking Cap, which, you know, pretty much to me looks like the movie Cap. I mean, that's what I like about these figures. They pretty much look like the movie Avenger characters. Of course, they don't look like the actors, and that's where Hot Toys has that kind of nailed down from Sideshow. But like I said, for $55, you're gonna see. I think this is well worth that. Top of the box, Marvel Now. Side, we get the Avengers logo like we did with the other boxes, and then instead of, so the front of the box is the actual the actual picture of the figure, and then usually they put the concept art on the other side, and this is usually the concept art that made the figure from the comic. And then on the back we got a nice shot of all of our team once you have the whole set. And then as they did with the others, they have this very, very long blurb. I'm sorry, my camera's not focusing on it. And basically the blurb talks about Kotobukia and how it's the first time that they're getting so they probably have you know, they talk about the Kotobukia and how it's great that they have this license, and they then go on to talk about the character and his origin. So let me just put that up for a little bit longer. You probably won't be able to read it, but very, very cool. I mean, it's nice that they include that, so you know a little bit about the figure. Oh. And then we have another shot of the figure, and then they have some close-up detail shots of the figure. And like I said, you can see there's some really nice detail, and we'll see more of that. And for the money, I just think they're pretty great. So let's go for the unboxing. What do you think? All right. So as I've been reporting on these guys, sometimes you have tape on the top, sometimes you don't. So if you get one with no tape, don't think you know, you got a dud. Okay. It looks like there are 3 pieces on this one. And I think similar to the Thor one, it is just a flap on top as opposed to the Hulk one that was a little bit more robust. And these are, oh, I should have pointed that out before I pop it open. So on the side with the Avengers, we might not have seen that, but these are snap to fit. So what that basically means is they're socketed model kits. So there's no glue you have to put on them or anything, but they do come in pieces. But they're all socketed, so you can't, you know, all the pieces go in only one place, so you can't even mess it up and put the wrong piece in the wrong place. It won't fit. All right, my tape is off. Oh, I lied, my tape is back on. All right, so shot inside the box, as I've done with all of them. And again, it was flat. And sorry for the interruption. All right. So like our other guys, this is how we're going to see them. They're all packaged in this sort of plastic. Nicely packaged. I mean, I haven't had any break or anything like that or been damaged, which is very, very cool. And then usually there are 4 pieces of tape, and there are tape on this one. So I'm going to just kind of do a little bit of it to unhinge it. And each piece is in a bag, which is really nice. So there's no way for it to, you know, get scratched or get ruined in travel. So that's another thing that's nice. They really do package their figures well. I mean, I in this day and age, I was going to say most companies that do this are pretty good about the packaging. But, you know, and one would argue, and I actually had an argument today about this, one would argue that plastic or PVC characters, you know, are bad. But if they're made out of ceramic or glass and they're in a box and, you know, they've been sitting in a comic book store forever, there's a great chance that somebody could drop that box and you have basically a broken box full of glass. So, I kind of like that they're plastic. It's a little bit easier to manage. They're not as heavy. If you ever move, you don't have to think about, you know, hiring the Hulk to move your entire collection somewhere else. You know, any of that kind of stuff. Now, there are little snaps in here. Oh, so if you snap these off, okay. Oh, there we go. And everything fell apart. Great. All right, so this is what we got inside. So we have all our pieces. Now, what's cool about their bases, they're pretty standard. They just have the logo on the bottom. Let's take a look. They're magnetic, though, which is pretty cool. So they have actually magnetic metal on the base of the character. So it kind of just sits and magnetically latches to the base, which is pretty cool. All right, let's get all this stuff out. My little table here, which is overrun by too much crap. So, that's it. Alright. So, get his legs undone. So, like I said, pretty cool. They bag everything. I keep all the bags, so if I ever have to put these guys away. But like you can see on this, so you can kind of see. That's what I mean by the value. For only like 50 bucks, you're getting all this detail, all this shading. You know, all this detail in the legging, the costume, all of this stuff, which is pretty cool. And even, I mean, like, even down to the little, like, packages on the belt. You know, and it's clean. You know, they did a good job with the paint. You know, it's a good, standard, nice figure. You know, it looks better than, you know, better than just, like, a regular statue or something like that. And then, like I said, they got the metal bottoms, so they go right onto the base and just latch on there, which is very cool. Oh wow, okay, yeah, and that's nice. So they did, what's cool is they did some metallic painting on the helmet, so I don't know if you guys can see that, it's kind of shaded, but again, just really nice detail. I mean, like, you know, solid paint job, nice paint passes. You know, it doesn't look cheap, doesn't look like it was like lesser than something, you know, a nice sculpt. Too bad. And then the socketed part, so you got these sort of socketed pieces. And like I said, there's not really, you can't wrongly put this together. I will say, not that you have to be a little firm, but don't, you know, you do have to kind of push it down a little bit. So one might say, you know, that's a downfall of it. I don't think so. You know, it is plastic, so you know it kind of has to meet. But you know, the seams are not bad, and they're pretty mindful where they put them. So that's really nice, so that the figure overall doesn't suffer from it. You know, and even like something like this, I mean, like, it's kind of nice. You got the buckle detail there. You know, just nice detail, nice sculpt. I mean, even the bicep, they did a nice job. Now, what I'm very happy about is that his shield is attached, because one of the things I didn't like about the Thor one was they actually gave you Thor's weapon in 2 pieces. But what I really think is awesome is look at the detail inside the shield, which is really cool. Very cool. You know, so just again, for the money, when you're talking about a world that, you know, you can spend $400 on a figure, a statue. I mean, like, it's kind of crazy. Like, look at that. That's just solid. Like, they just look really nice. There's a nice shine to the shield. It's got this nice pose, nice sculpt, and they did a really nice job. And then let me see if I can do this without dropping them. Whoops. So you can kind of see him on his base. And again, base is magnetic. Now again, you can see him wobbling it. Whoop, and there we go. You can, you know, the magnets, they keep the figure in place, but they're not high-powered magnets. So magnetic base is cool, but it's not indestructible. So that is Captain America, which I think is pretty awesome. I think they did a really nice job with Cap, and I'm really digging it. They did a nice job. All right, cool. So stay tuned. We're gonna have unboxings of the last 2, which is Black Widow and Hawkeye. And you can subscribe through Twitch and YouTube under Vamp Mario. We also have our Facebook page with Modern Geek, as well as Twitter. So check those out. We're gonna try to post as much as we can. There's some really cool stuff on there, and as we find out more about, you know, the movies and all kinds of other stuff going on. You'll definitely see some great stuff. We just got the Loot Crate for this month. Got the unboxing up for that. So check us out. All right, take care.